Ed here with a Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share yet another unboxing of the Microsoft Surface Pro 8. Now this is the Core i5 version with 16 gigs of RAM and a 256 gig SSD, priced at $1,400 US. I think this is a far more affordable and attractive option than the Core i7 model that I already unboxed that retails for $1,900. And I do recommend people go with 16 gigs of RAM unless they absolutely know they don't need it, because remember, the RAM is soldered and it's for life. So at $1,400, while the SSD is tiny here, because we have Thunderbolt 4 connectivity now in the 8th generation of the Surface Pro, I think it is doable. We've got a 13-inch 120 hertz IPS panel that Microsoft calls PixelSense, for those of you unfamiliar with the updates that this generation brings to the table and missed my other unboxing. We also have a 1080p webcam front and center with Windows Hello capability, which is a nice touch in the age of video conferencing here in the pandemic. We still have Microsoft's proprietary charging system. We have a new type cover, all that jazz. So let's get this thing out of the box and take a look. Again, I think this is going to be the more affordable and attractive option for all the reasons I've stated. If it didn't have Thunderbolt 4 connectivity, then I would say, don't even consider it, because what are you going to do with the fact that, the hard drive size is just ridiculously small? But Thunderbolt 4 does unlock quite a bit of potential when it comes to hooking this up to external storage. We don't have a micro SD card slot for storage expansion anymore, but I still think this is a really good direction. You can see all of the designations there on the package. Let's go ahead and crack this open. And this is without question the most excited I've been about a Surface product in a long time. I'm going to go ahead and push that to the side. For those of you, again, that didn't see the other unboxing, really clean on the design. You can get this in a different color. This is the classic silver that Microsoft, has had for quite some time. I do like the matte black version better, believe it or not. And as far as, again, the cameras are concerned, 4K video on this side, of course, you can shoot stills with that too, but the real star of the show is the 1080p that you're going to be able to leverage for video conferencing, as well as the dual microphone array. So we'll see how that is. I still haven't gotten there yet. As far as the right side, Thunderbolt 4 ports, the power button, and of course the proprietary magnetic charging, which hopefully will get this thing totally charged in around an hour and a half, maybe less. Microsoft is claiming 16 hours of use time, but I'll be happy if we get over 10. Clean on the top. Left side, we've got our volume rocker and our microphone and headphone headset combo jack. And then, of course, the hinge that makes the Surface Pro line exactly what it is, the tablet that also can replace a computer. And these are really the height of ultra portable, ultrabook machines on the market. They always have been. They certainly have design language that I think appeals to everyone. They aren't for everyone, but I think with these new enhancements, again, the larger 13-inch display with 120 hertz refresh rate, Thunderbolt 4, and even user upgradable hard drives, they're going in the right direction, no question about it. Now, you can upgrade this, but the pricing is absurd, so I would recommend just using an external hard drive. And because you have Thunderbolt 4 connectivity, you can actually, even though it will cost you some money, buy something like the Sabrent drives that I cover quite frequently, connect it to your Surface Pro 8 and have speeds just like essentially the drive that's inside. And that's the beauty of having Thunderbolt 4 connectivity now, is that I wouldn't be too fixated on the actual storage size on the main drive. Granted, none of us really want to have a tiny hard drive. It's just now with Thunderbolt 4 a little less of an issue. So great build quality. I'm excited to test this thing out. I will power it on. The 120 hertz display, do I think we need high refresh on this? No. But I think once you've used a higher refresh panel, just like with smartphones, it's tough to go back. I mean, scrolling is going to be significantly smoother, obviously, less choppy in terms of what's visible to the eye. And what sort of toll that's going to take on battery life is going to be the real test. The power brick is the same one of years past. I have it here from the i7. I'll just go ahead and show you that. And, you know, the beauty here, though, is that if you don't have the proprietary power brick, you can always go ahead and charge this thing up with a regular 65-watt charger. And I'll test that out, too, to see what the real charge time difference is, if at all. And then the type cover, also, we have, of course, a new type cover with a new slim pen as well, 2 different positions that it can operate. You can see that right there. And the type cover, you know, is nice. It's always been nice. I do find the transition here, I don't want to say it's less smooth. Maybe it is a little bit less smooth, though, than years past. But I think now that we can pocket the pen into the actual keyboard, obviously a much better design. Now there's a place for it to go. But I will update overall performance. I'm going to benchmark this. I'm going to benchmark, of course, the i7 with 16 gigs of RAM. I'm expecting really similar performance, which is why I think many of you out there are going to want to pick up this model and save the money. I personally would buy this model over the i7, take that savings and buy myself an NVMe drive, an external one that's Thunderbolt capable, and then, you know, the whole discussion about external storage, additional storage, the internal storage is over, because again, it's going to be so fast, and you don't have to go Thunderbolt on the external storage. You could just, again, get a Type-C NVMe external drive. I'll probably end up doing a video about that because that's going to be one of the key ways of leveraging the Thunderbolt 4 connectivity. And then, of course, the Thunderbolt 4 can do everything. I didn't mention this in the unboxing of the i7, but, you know, 8K video out, hook this up to a dock. That's the beauty of Thunderbolt connectivity, is we now have a single port that can do everything. And that's exactly what an ultra portable, less than 2-pound tablet that also is an Ultrabook like this, a PC, really needs to flourish, so that it can seamlessly dock at an at-home workstation or be taken on the road and adapt to whatever environment and setting that it faces. And now that we have 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports, again, you can connect this to essentially anything. We're talking about hubs, monitors. It can drive 3 monitors at once, or a single 8K display. So I believe it's 3 4K displays. So it's really impressive output and throughput on the actual headroom that this port has. And, you know, generally speaking, most users don't need it, but now that it's on the Surface Pro, I think most people are going to want it, because they're going to actually know what Thunderbolt 4 is. Not that different from Thunderbolt 3, but still, as long as we got Thunderbolt on board the Surface Pro, we're working with a whole new generation of device. Build quality is excellent as usual, and that webcam is the other thing that I think is going to make this really appealing. And quite frankly, aesthetically, there's a lot less bezel. It's a redesign that is long overdue. I would have liked to have seen this back in 2019. Hopefully next generation, and I mentioned this in my unboxing of the i7 model, we're actually going to get an OLED, and they'll ditch the PixelSense IPS panels. I mean, they're high res, they're nice, there's nothing wrong with them, but the price of the Surface Pro lineup demands a higher quality display than what Microsoft is putting out here. And that's not a knock at IPS. You know, the PixelSense display is really nice, I can tell you that right now, but it's just not OLED league, and at this price, we should be getting new tech, not old tech. I mean, they've revamped this thing top to bottom. Let's get an OLED next time, Microsoft. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them, hit that like button. And as usual, please feel free to subscribe, and please stay safe. Later.